Fairy Tail is back, and we're starting off where we left off with the fight between Cobra and Blade, where Cobra is saying that Blade is afraid of his poison, and Blade's response is, "Why would I be afraid of you? Or your poison, I can cut down both." And Cobra's response is, "This isn't just normal poison, this is dragon poison. It can corrode anything." After filling up a giant cloud of poison around him, Cobra then launches it at Blade. And Blade, true to his word, is able to cut through the poison, which means his blade magic is probably similar to Kira's severing magic. Of course, I would say that Blade is most likely stronger, because Kira still lost to Lucy. I'm not saying Lucy's weak, I'm just saying Cobra is definitely stronger than Lucy. And if Kira lost to Lucy, then she'd probably lose to Blade. Anyway, Cobra was also telling the truth when he said that dragon poison can corrode anything, because Blade then looks at his sword, and it is of course beginning to rust. But he's not deterred. He believes even with a rusty sword, he can cut through anything. And he goes straight in to attack Cobra. And once again, he's right. He can even cut with a rusty sword. He actually stabs straight through Cobra's stomach. Cobra wails in pain for a second, but this was actually his plan all along. So Cobra's plan was to purposely target his poison not at Blade, rust his sword, so this way Blade now feels like he's being challenged personally that he can't use a rusted sword to cut with. And Blade fell straight for that trap. He took the challenge, and with this, Cobra is able to grab onto his sword, hold him still, and surround the both of them with the poison clouds. And Cobra refers to this as his dragon fangs. Basically, the poison that he surrounds himself with is like the mouth of a dragon, and it just squeezes down onto Blade. He's literally being crushed by poison. So he's being poisoned and crushed at the exact same time. And you can see as Blade's flesh begins to just rot off. And Cobra straight up says, "I'm not like Natsu, I kill my opponents." Blade says, "That's fine. When we die, we just return back to Ferris." Since Ferris created him, it would not surprise me that once one of her demons die, she has access to their magic. I mean, technically it was her magic to begin with, after all. Anyway, as the damage exceeds the point where he is killed, Blade then turns into a book. This does not surprise me. Same thing happened to a couple of Xeris' demons. That's why they're called the demons of the Book of Xerath. Same thing here. They're the demons of the Book of Ferris. But he isn't just defeated, he is in fact dead. And so the book itself begins to deteriorate until it goes into nothingness. So yeah, we got the first win for Horatio Sace. We jump over to Bird and Racer's fight. Bird then asked if he was one of Zero's lackeys. And Racer's response is, "We were a team, and we used to think of him as a father." I'm assuming he's referring to Brain, not to Zero, because they were all afraid of Zero. They sealed him for a reason. Their fight seems to be pretty even, as they seem to be hitting each other over and over while they're talking. Nothing seems to be changing. That is until Bird points out that 3 of Racer's teammates have already been defeated, and they are on the back foot. And so Bird begins to wonder why did they even come in the first place. And we get a flashback that explains how they even knew to come here and help out Fairy Tail against these demons. They actually had no idea the demons existed. They didn't know anything about Ferris. None of it. I assume they had some understanding because Jalal was investigating the White Wizard, but no, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with Zero. So apparently Meredy somehow was able to sense Zero's magical energy, and she decides to use her link to inform the rest of Horatio Sace. First off, half of them are surprised that he's even alive, because straight up gutted the man. But when they learn that he's literally on another continent, at that point, they don't care anymore, because it's no longer their problem. They're free, they're no longer having to fight, they no longer have to do anything ever again. They have the right to live their lives the way they see fit, they don't have to worry about anything. No more having to fight in wars. Macbeth, formerly known as Midnight, then starts to point out to the rest of them, are they really free? Because they have all this freedom, he says, but they don't really do anything with it. Jalal and Meredy are still fighting. Fairy Tail is still fighting. Literally everyone that they knew from all those other guilds are still fighting. They're still actively trying to make the world a better place, while they're just, sitting around relaxing? And he says that maybe freedom is having the will to keep fighting. Not because you're forced to, because you're a slave, or because you're being manipulated by Brain, but out of your own free will, you fight for what is right. And this is something that really speaks to Racer, because his entire personality was the man who ran away. That was his dream. He wanted to be able to run away. And so, having a peaceful, relaxing life, he views it the same way that Macbeth now views it, which is, this is just another way of running away. And Racer doesn't want to be that man anymore. Racer then decides to prove that he's not running away anymore, and he does it. He finishes off Bird. He then accelerates even faster than he already was, and he attacks Bird in every direction at the exact same time. That's how fast he's moving. The move is called Sonic Heaven, and from head to toe, Bird is just covered in bruises and injuries. He was completely crushed in every direction. It's unclear if he killed Bird the same way Cobra killed Blade, but the point is Bird's been defeated. So it's 3 losses, 2 wins, and Racer then calls to Macbeth and tells him to defeat Zero. And that is where the chapter ends off. I really did enjoy this chapter, and my theory before that what's going to happen is we're going to have certain members of each side win a fight, and the remainers are going to fight each other in a battle royale. I feel that's the most logical outcome of these fights, either that or the rest of Ratio State somehow gets a second win, but I don't see that happening. I really do think that it's going to be a battle royale between what's left. Once again, we just got to wait and see. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give thumbs up so you can enjoy more Fair Channel Anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.